Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy. Is your AC system in your E53 X5 starting to act up? It's probably your final stage unit, and I'm going to show you how to change it. So the FSU, or final stage unit, in your E53, in your E46, a whole number of cars, once it starts to fail, and they absolutely do, you can get all kinds of really strange behavior out of your heating and cooling system. The fan can turn on, not turn on, it can strobe where it'll increase and decrease. Your heat won't work, your AC won't work, you can start blowing fuses like you can in the E53. All kinds of really, really strange behavior, and it all comes down to this guy right here. This is called your final stage unit. So what we're gonna do is show you how to change this out in your car. The part itself is not all that expensive, the work isn't all that hard, and I wanna show you how to do this and how this can make a dramatic difference in getting your car back to full functionality. So let's jump in. We're gonna be on the passenger side of the car, and I'll walk you through the whole process. Okay, so we're looking into the passenger side footwell, and I think probably some of the greater challenges of this is going to be showing you the good angles to find how to do this work more than anything else. Now, quick side note, if you found this video looking for an FSU replacement, I actually have a video up for an E46 as well, which is substantially harder than an E53, so make sure to check that out. Okay, so finding camera angles is really kind of going to be the challenge for a lot of this. So what we're going to need to do is we need to pull this kick plate above the footwell first. First of all, there are these little twist knobs. I've pulled one out on that side right over there. There's another one right here and all you're just going to do is just twist them, then pull them out, okay? And then there's one screw right there, which you should be able to see. Let me look at it. You can see the silver right there of that one screw. And then this kick plate will come down. It has a light in it, as you can see. So pull this plate down, unplug it, because what we want to do is we want to remove this side paneling piece, and this is in the way. So get this out, and then I'll show you how to take the side panel piece out, because the FSU is essentially right back here. And it's not all that hard to get to, but you just have to pull a few pieces to get there. Okay, so the next step is this carpet piece itself, which is tucked in at this end. I ran the seat back just a little bit, but it's also held in by those plastic rivets like you see in the door card. So what you want to do is kind of reach up and get your fingers over the top and pull. Now, I had the middle one already let go, and I just touched this a second ago, but as you can see, it's that simple and it's out. And now you can see the plastic rivets that help hold this in place. Now, if you have that socket like I do, go ahead and unplug the socket. But as you can see, we can start to see back in there now, and I'll show you the next steps and rearrange my light a little bit so you can see what we're looking for. Okay, so finding the right angle for this is going to be a little difficult. It's really actually easier with your head underneath the glove box than it is to actually show it, ironically enough. But let's start with the new one, and I'll show you what we're looking at. So it should be in this orientation, like this, right back up in here, and I'll show you in just a second. You very likely have a screw here and here holding it in place. Now, the one I have in very conveniently has a big yellow sticker on it right here, so it's going to be even easier to see. So you're going to look for the cable and the big yellow sticker as I look here underneath. So as you can see, right where you can see the cables right here and the yellow sticker right there behind this vent tube. So what you're going to do is if you have both of those screws pulled there, and then the whole unit will pull straight out. Okay, so here's the new one, as you can see, as I showed just a second ago. And here is the old one. Now, could be that it's replaced before. I bought this E53 used, but it was really well maintained and really was kind of considered factory when I got it. So with the marks on this may be the original FSU. It's certainly possible. Now, the one thing that is very difficult to show, so I'm going to try to verbally walk you through it. The plug that goes into place, I had to remove the plug to be able to feed this out. There's not enough length on the cabling, because the cable comes in from one side and goes out the other side. So trying to pull it straight out with it plugged in, it just wouldn't come out. So there's two pressure clips on either side. So the plug comes in right here, and there's two pressure clips that you have to press on and pull to get the plug off. I found that it was really, really stubborn. So as you can see, laying here, I've got a small bladed screwdriver, which I'd be very careful with, because what I don't want to hit is any electrical connections in this. I also have my plastic trim tool, which isn't conductive. So what I did is with my head underneath, underneath here, looking up in, I was able to get one hand on the plug, one hand on the FSU itself, and push against the FSU while pulling up on the plug. Once the plug came off, I could just take the plug and kind of push it up into the console a little bit, and it came right out just super easily. So all I have to do is just take the new one, and I'm going to fit it right back up into the same place. And as you can tell, there are a couple of little teeth on it to help guide it into place, and then plug it in. And then this should address my issues here in the E53, where I'm starting to get the heater is acting up a little bit, and it blows a fuse every once in a while. So this should take care of it. This is about as easy as it gets for an FSU, and this would also work on a lot of 5 Series as well, considering the E53s are essentially a modified 5 Series with a lot of similar components. So let me get this up into place. I'll try to show you as best I can with the view, but it really is easier to show with your head underneath the glove box than it is to show on camera. Okay, so let's kind of move slowly here and show you. I know I've got some wires in the way, and I'm going to try to move them. Let me adjust my light a little bit. But right here, right there, you should be able to see the socket for the new FSU, and you can see that it's in place. It slots into place. It's such an unusual shape. There's only one way for it to go in. And then I'm not convinced that it needs screws. It appears that those loops go onto a couple of posts, at least in this case. And this is where I may be just conflating between the E46 and the E53, because I do remember on the E46 had screws to hold it into place. So if you didn't have screws and you have those posts, and it looks like I've got posts, so you should be fine, so it's fit into place. Make sure to pull your plug back down, because I've got it tucked up out of the way right at the moment. So take your plug and plug it back in securely. Make sure that the FSU is sitting back in its slot securely as well. And then all you have to do is just put this kick panel back on, and you're just going to slide it in from the back. Forgive the kind of rough lighting here at the moment. Just slide it in from the back. You'll have those pins like you have in your door cards. Those plastic rivets will go into those holes to snap it into place. Plug in your outlet if you have it. Put this kick panel back on, and you're pretty much done. And the side carpet panel is back on. Like I said, you just slot it in from the back and then just press it into place, and those nylon pins hold it in place. You've got your kind of kick panel here with the light. So plug the light in. It slots in from the back. You kind of slot it in and then feed it up into place, and then you're going to put those 2 twist screws, one here, one there, and then the one normal metal screw right there, and you're all done. All right, all my tools are put away, everything's cleaned up. As you can tell, this is something really simple to do, and probably will take you less than 15 minutes if you really get into it. The part numbers that you'll need is listed below. Always confirm against your own car to make sure that it is the right one, but if you have the same generation of X5 or even a lot of the 5 Series, it's gonna be the same FSU. This also helps to address a lot of that ghost weird behavior you can start to see as these cars start to age, if your fan acting strangely or your heat acting strangely, or even blowing the AC controls fuse every once in a while, like I've got in my X5. So thank you so much for watching. Everything you need is listed below. Please click subscribe and the little alarm bell. It makes a huge difference to my channel, and I have a ton of projects coming up across multiple platforms of BMW, and I look forward to seeing you on my next project.